Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Captain Thomas Hill, a retired Public Health Service officer, on the critical topic of food safety. Captain Hill worked with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, Vessel Sanitation Program, and at the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, Retail Food Safety and Outbreak and Emergency Response Teams. Welcome, Captain Hill. Given recent food industry news about food recalls and foodborne illness outbreaks involving contaminated produce such as cucumbers, onions, and carrots, as well as hamburgers and deli meats, and the sharp increase in norovirus cases in the U.S. general population, what insights can you share about food safety and its role in public health onshore or at sea on board cruise ships?
You know, Maria, year after year, norovirus and salmonella infections remain the leading causes of foodborne illness in the U.S. The rise in norovirus cases is a major concern for retail food safety, primarily because of how highly contagious the virus is. One of the most critical preventive measures for foodborne illness is ensuring that food workers do not work while they are sick. For example, if infected food workers continue to work while experiencing norovirus symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea, they can spread the virus and make others sick. Addressing food safety is a broad topic, but when discussing retail food safety, whether in restaurants on land or at sea, there are some similar fundamental key points to consider.
Can you elaborate on these similar fundamental key points of food safety that are shared by restaurants on shore and at sea?
Well, whether on shore or at sea, the fundamentals of food safety remain the same. To maintain effective control, we must return to the basics, understanding and mitigating the risk factors that contribute to foodborne illness. If you look at the CDC's VSP 2018 Operations Manual and the U.S. FDA Food Code 2022, you'll find what I call the 2 keys to success. The first is demonstration of knowledge. Supervisors must have a deep understanding of foodborne illnesses and the risk factors associated with them. And the second point is performance of duties. Supervisors must actively monitor and control these risk factors to prevent outbreaks. When both are properly implemented, you have what we call active managerial control. However, many supervisors have the knowledge, but they fail to implement it effectively. Without proper training, monitoring, and enforcement, operations become vulnerable to foodborne illness outbreaks. This is where the concept of active managerial control really comes in. Supervisors must take ownership of food safety practices within their operations.
That's a powerful concept. Active managerial control seems to be a cornerstone of successful food safety management. Can you expand on what this entails?
Absolutely. Active managerial control requires supervisors not only to know food safety regulations, but also to ensure they are consistently followed. Many supervisors understand the rules, but they fail to implement them effectively because they don't fully grasp the why behind the requirements. Food safety requirements for land and sea are covered in Chapter 7 of the VSP 2018 Operations Manual and also in Chapters 2 through 6 of the FDA Food Code 2022. The requirements in both documents address the 5 key risk factors contributing to foodborne illness. Now, I'm about to introduce the 5 key risk factors now, but don't worry, I'll dive deeper into each one in an upcoming podcast. It's important that we break them down so you really understand what they are and why they matter. So here we go. Number 1, improper food holding temperatures, that is time and or temperature abuse. Number 2, poor personal hygiene. Number 3, contaminated equipment or lack of protection from contamination. Number 4 is inadequate cooking. And lastly, number 5 is food sourced from unsafe suppliers. Also, both documents outline key interventions or preventive measures, including demonstration of knowledge, having the knowledge of foodborne illnesses and understanding the risk factors I mentioned previously. Then we talk about employee health controls, ensuring sick food workers are excluded or restricted. Then there's controlling hands as a vehicle of contamination, and that's hand hygiene, proper hand washing, and the use of single-use gloves to prevent contamination. No bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods. Ensuring ready-to-eat foods are handled with gloves, utensils, or some other barrier. Then we have consumer advisories, and that's informing consumers about the risk associated with consuming raw or undercooked animal products. Then lastly, we have time and temperature controls for pathogens. Ensuring food is cooked, cooled, stored, and held at safe temperatures within the proper time limits to prevent pathogen growth. You know, it's a lot to ask for supervisors to manage, train, and monitor food workers in real time, which is why understanding the why behind each requirement is crucial. At GPHS, we focus on educating supervisors through training and coaching. We explain the microbiology of food pathogens, the relationship between time and temperature control, and why measures such as date marking to control for listeria are necessary. I'm just mentioning a few examples here. When supervisors understand these concepts, they gain the confidence and tools needed to train their teams and maintain strict food safety standards and achieve active managerial control.
That makes so much sense. Giving supervisors the knowledge and tools they need ensures that food safety standards are consistently met and regulatory compliance is maintained. So to summarize, supervisors must not only be knowledgeable about risk factors contributing to foodborne illness, but also take an active role in training, monitoring, and enforcing compliance among their teams.
Yes, that's correct, Maria. Knowledge alone isn't enough. Consistent training, monitoring, and corrective actions are crucial. By fostering a culture of active managerial control, supervisors can significantly reduce the risk of foodborne illness outbreaks onshore or at sea.
Well, Captain Hill, thank you for these valuable insights. To our audience, staying ahead of food safety challenges and building a culture of excellence in public health is essential, no matter where in the world your journey takes you.